I really don't know if this is like a hot take, but I do prefer this movie over 28 Days Later. If you've watched my previous review of 28 Days Later, I admire that movie. There's a lot I like about it. But I truly think 28 Weeks Later is one of the best zombie movies. Released in 2007, we are talking the sequel to 28 Days Later, 28 Weeks Later. So yeah, I probably pissed a bunch of people off in the first couple seconds of this review because I get it. 28 Days Later is a classic. I get why it's a lot of people's favorite zombie movie, which I know zombie, and I know it's favorite people horror movie. It's a classic, and I admire a lot about it. I gave it a positive review. Go watch that review, please. But for this movie, there's a lot of like bias for this movie because this movie's more connected to me when I was younger. So a lot has been said about this movie because I see people's criticisms about it. Like, it's not as good as the first one. It's not Danny Boyle, blah, 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 which I get it. I get it. So again, this is just my review. Now in 2007, I remember when my mom and dad rented this movie from Blockbuster. Does anyone remember Blockbuster? I had someone the other day tell me, what the hell is Blockbuster? And I was like, oh my God, my heart. I feel so old. But no, for real, I remember when mom and dad rented this movie and I was not allowed to watch it. They were like, nope, you're not allowed to watch it. But I remember when they rented it and they went to bed, and on a weekend night, I took the movie, went into my room and put it in my PlayStation or Xbox, I don't remember, and I watched it, and it scared the fuck out of me as a kid. This movie scared me a lot. This movie made me scared of zombies. Now, I am 90% sure I did see the 2004 Dawn of the Dead first, and then I saw this movie first before seeing the original 28 Days Later, and I was just, the thought of running zombies scared me. I understand zombies, rage virus, we've talked about it to death. Whatever, zombies. For this movie, the opening terrified me. I know we'll just dive right into it. The opening to this movie is top 10 best horror movie openings all time, no question in my opinion. There have been so many good ones. I mean, there is a list. I always feel like 28 Weeks Later has to be in the top 10 range of best horror movie openings. What makes me so sad, I didn't even mention the 28 theme from my original review. I didn't even mention it, which makes me so mad. The theme in this beginning of this movie, it's like, what's the name of it? Like the heart something, I forget, like the heartbeat something. It works so well in those shots of our main character, Robert Carlyle, running through an open field and just dead, running fast zombies are chasing one man. That image scared the fuck out of me. I always thought as a kid, just running into an open field that you can see the entire landscape and just this crowd of just monsters are chasing you. The thought of that, and that's just the end of the opening scene. I even mentioned the beginning where they're in this dark-ass house and a kid knocks on the door, which brings in a horde of the undead and basically kills everybody, leaving our dad alone, which then leads to him escaping, leaving his wife behind. It is a crazy opening. It is the best scene in the movie. Okay, I will say it right there. It's the best scene in the movie. It's the best scene in the entire franchise. Even, I know we haven't seen Bone Temple yet, but so far, through our 28 trilogy so far, it's the best scene in the entire franchise, in my opinion. I love the opening, the music, the style. I know it's not a Danny Boyle directed film, but Danny Boyle was a second unit director on that opening scene, which is insane to learn, because I'm like, it's the best scene in the movie, and of course Danny Boyle did it, but you really have to give it up to this director. He did an amazing job after what Danny Boyle did for that first movie. And then when you actually get into the meat of this movie, I love that the districts are put basically into like, hey, the dead are basically dead because they've starved. And I love that idea of 28 weeks later, and they have a district now. And then obviously you bring in Imogen Poots, which I know I've said her first name wrong. When I saw this movie as a kid, I was like, she's pretty. And I still to this day think she is pretty. But I like this movie's characterization. I like the story of this dad who lies to his kids about their mom, them leaving them behind, and then the mom is actually immune to the virus. And she lives. I love that storyline so much. And it's done so well. I love the scene when the dad goes and sees the mom, and then he turns, because he's not a great person, but then again, he's a dad to those kids, and he turns into the rage virus. And throughout the entire movie, he is the ultimate rage virus monster, killing everybody he sees in sight, especially the mom, which that death is just brutal with the eyes. That, as a kid, that was like I think it was like the first time I ever seen a movie where they kill someone with like the thumbs to the eyes. That like scarred me. So every time in a movie I see someone get killed like that, it always like, it makes me like, like goosebumps and everything, because it's such a brutal death, like thumbs in the eyes, and You get Jeremy Renner as the sniper. I forgot Idris Elba was in this movie. You have Rose Byrne as our main scientist, and you have a pretty solid cast. And then once they are in the city, it's like, all right, we have our rage virus, we have our humans, they need to get to this helicopter to survive. Very plain and simple. And I will say, from that point when the bombs go off in this city, from that to the end of the movie, it's not as interesting because everything you see from then to the end feels very familiar. And that's my main issue with this movie. By the end of this movie, nothing to me really stands out more than like that beginning with the family dynamic, the kids going to visit their old home. Like, I love everything that they do to set all it up, get into the middle of the movie, and then once she actually hits the fan, that's actually when I lose interest, and it just feels more like a 28 Days ripoff in a way. But again, I do like at the very end. I as a kid, I found it so disturbing to see Jeremy Renner and Rose Byrne's character get killed. Like, they're both not horrible characters. Like, they're not horrible people in this movie. Yes, they work for the bad guys, but they end up helping the kids. But they do, like, everything they can to survive. So to see them get killed, especially Jeremy Renner when he gets freaking flamethrowered up to his back and he burns to death, like, the movie holds nothing back. And I give it up to him because you watch this movie, you don't expect them to die, but, like, they could. But, like, Rose Byrne getting brutally killed with the gun, as a kid, I was like, oh, man, like, seeing that good character die made me feel weird. Like, I didn't want her to die. And then, obviously, at the end, I know spoiler, sorry if I didn't forget to say that, the son getting bit, but he's also immune. And then the movie ends with them getting to the helicopter. And I love the last shot of the Paris shot. I love that. I was really confused why 28 years later kind of just pushes this movie aside of the districts of London, whatever. 28 years later, it feels like they've kind of just like skipped past this one. They're only relying on 28 Days Later, which makes me really confused. Because, again, I know this movie's not really well regarded, but, like, me personally, I like this movie more than the first one. So I was a little disappointed that 28 years later kind of just skipped this movie. But overall, like, I just find this movie, the characterization and the story of the virus, plus the opening and the middle, and then what the movie ends up entertainment-wise, it's really well done. Again, my issue is more of like, as soon as everything goes to shit, it becomes really generic, but it's a fun generic. Like, it's easily like a ripoff of Danny Boyle's style, the fast-paced, but whatever, I think the movie looks better than the first one. So that's a big bonus in my opinion. Just looking at this movie, that looks better than the first one. So overall, again, I have a little bias towards this movie because I saw it first. It scared me a lot as a kid, and I had like a fond memory of this movie. But I can see why people appreciate the first one a lot more. I admired the first one, but I do prefer this one. I'm going to give 28 Weeks Later an A-. And now I have reviewed all of the 28 movies. So yeah, I am now completely caught up. We have our new one coming out in January, directed by Nia DaCosta, which I love her as a director from the Candyman movie, so I'm really intrigued to see what she does in this franchise. So I'm excited for that, even though I didn't love 28 Years Later. to this day, 28 weeks later, is still my favorite. So what do you guys think about this movie? What is your favorite? We all know it's 28 days, but are you like me? Do you prefer this one? Or do you like 28 years later? Because I know plenty of movie people that love that movie. So it's a great discussion. It's a great franchise. I'm glad that we're getting new movies. That's the biggest thing I can say. I'm so happy that we're getting new movies. All right, guys, you guys enjoy this Halloween review. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.